in industrial development in the 19th century, you had factories which were actually embedded in the urban area, right? The development in the 20th century was for large factories to go outside of the area because they were too large and demanded too much resources and pollutants for them to easily be located in a downtown. Did you see this being something where you would start to have, relatively small manufacturing floors that could be placed within urban environments?
Yeah, I think that's a strong likelihood. Most of the companies that contract on MVI.com are very small and in urban environments. The neighborhood machine shop.
Where do you do your production? I'm just curious. Of the actual robots, the physical.
The final assembly?
Yeah.
It's about an hour out of Boston.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then.
But the rest, it's Minnesota, it's Washington State, it's Michigan, it's Chicago, Illinois, it's Pennsylvania, it's all over the country, different sub-pieces of it.
So your view would be that the more these things become embedded in the next generation of manufacturing, that creates an efflorescence of its own, not one that you can easily chart, right? You can't know the exact outcome of these, but that it creates its own sort of next generation of multifaceted creative manufacturing.
Yes, and all sorts of services and new business models. If this clicks right, I'm going to show it. There are just some examples. We've had plug-and-play equipment in IT for a long time. We haven't had plug-and-play equipment in manufacturing. In analogy to the Twitter analytics company, I think there'll be lots and lots of little companies doing supply chain optimization. And then there'll be some sort of radical changes. I call this one delivery flow because I don't know what it means, but here's the analogy. A few years ago, GE aircraft engines stopped selling engines and started selling hours of engine service on airplanes. So our whole supply chain model for manufacturing is still about the physical stuff going, and I think there's meta levels that information technology combined with this super CAD will lead to, not by direct analogy, the Amazons of supply chain. And it's going to be very different from what it is now. I wish I was as smart as Jeff Bezos so I could figure out how to make this happen.
Well, perhaps you should buy the Detroit Free Press, and then you can be kind of like a mini version of Jeff Bezos.